Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/AskReddit. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. What's a very common thing that you just can't relate to? Being quiet late at night when your parents are asleep. My parents are deaf. Would you quit waving your arms? I have a headache. Porn on full blast for you whenever you want. No shame. What a life. I'm an office worker. I like my job and co-workers. So you're the asshole. I also really like it. I can listen to podcasts or watch TV shows while working, and I love the fixed schedules. Coming out of gastronomy work, that's heaven. Preoccupation with lives of celebrities. Why? Why do people read about it or want to know what someone did today? Because people live through them. They feel like they're living those luxurious lives by proxy. It's kinda same as rooting for a fictional character you're watching/reading. Only difference is the celebrities are actual human beings. Fighting/yelling/hostility in relationships with my significant other. It could very well stem from my childhood, I guess. It's not to say we don't have disagreements or the relationship is flawless, but obstacles always have been resolved without much issue. Fortunately, this held true with all of my romantic relationships. I've always lived by the saying conflict is inevitable, fighting is optional. My God, yes. People all around me think that's normal or even desirable, and I'm horrified when I see them screaming at each other and saying stuff designed to hurt the other person. Social media. I use it, but I never post photos or update people on everything I do. That's why I like Reddit so much. Stuff like that isn't really a thing here. You just talk to people about what you like. Running a brush through my hair. I have very curly hair, so only finger brush it when it's wet, which isn't often. Seeing people grab a brush and run it through their hair when they've been in the wind or just to freshen up. I wish. I have to brush it in the shower because it's just too curly and thick to do anything with. My sister, whose hair like her father's and would never understand the struggle, grabbed a round hair brush one day and thought it would be funny to put it in my hair. It got stuck and I just sat there and cried. Another time when I was really young, my aunt, who was my father's whiter half-sister, decided to put little tiny buns all over my head with newspaper elastics that ended up getting stuck and ripping out my hair. I literally bled because of it. Loving and wanting to spend time with your family. Had a terrible, awful childhood. As an adult, just lots of toxic interactions whenever anyone from my family got involved in my life, so all cut off. When I see people posting about their family and how much they love them, I just don't understand it. I don't understand my fiancé missing his mom, etc. I know I'm the anomaly, but just can't relate in any way. Having a mom who loves you. Sounds fake. My husband calls his mom every few days for a chat, and even now I find it odd that he enjoys talking with her. I'm glad they have a good relationship, but I can't relate. Hanging out in loud, crowded places. Give me a place where you can actually have a conversation and elbow room. I like large parties. They're so intimate. At small parties there isn't any privacy. F. Scott Fitzgerald, The Great Gatsby. I always like to drink and have a good time, but loud/crowded bars or clubs are just depressing to me. This might be an unpopular opinion, but I almost always hate live music in bars or restaurants too. It's always way too loud, and the musician is just some unshowered kid or dad with a guitar. Speakerphone in public. I barely even want to take a normal call anywhere in public with a whispered tone. God, my dad used to do it all the time, and I would absolutely burn inside. FaceTime in public is even worse. In college I would see and hear so many people in communal areas loudly FaceTiming someone. I feel like it's rude. Having what is considered a normal social life. I have the social desires of a sim. Sometimes my bar gets low and I need some interaction, but once my bar is full I can go without for a while. Being able to do a normal amount of housework/errands and still have plenty of energy left for hobbies. I have ADHD. I feel ya. I hyper-focused on cleaning yesterday because my dog has been shedding like nuts and I've been constantly inhaling fur. Took me about 4 hours. Then I laid on the couch for about 8 hours and watched a bunch of Star Wars movies, 'cause my gas tank was at 100% empty. Uneasy face. Watching sport. I've got nothing against it, I just don't care. Oh man, you guys are lucky. I wish I just didn't care. But there's something in me that gets so drawn to the competitiveness and the thrills and excitement. Do you know how much time I could save not caring about sports? Same. Sitting down and watching a football or basketball game is one of the least entertaining things I can imagine. Growing up, I never had any idea who almost any of the athletes other boys talked about were, and I'm still not entirely sure what third and down means. People taking out loans for their wedding expenses. One of the number one reasons people get a divorce is money. No better way to start off your marriage than in debt, I guess. Keeping up with the Joneses. I don't give a shit how nice or shiny your things are or mine aren't. I'd rather have money in the bank than a new car every year. My car is 6 years old and works fine and still looks nice. Why would I trade it in just to keep up? Same with phones, clothes, computer, even stuff for my home, etc. I like mine and I get good quality stuff so it lasts. To trade it in for the sake of it would be silly and a waste of money. The requirement of drama. I've met so many people who are always in the midst of some drama and then, when lacking in it, create it for themselves, they thrive off it. I mean, at a push I can understand it to an extent, it gives their lives meaning possibly, but then they try and drag people like myself into their drama. I think, the FK not. As a former drama queen, I can say that I didn't want the drama, but unfortunately, I was perceiving everything around me as being dramatic, and most often than not, as being a sort of attack on me. And since my mechanism to regulate my emotions was flawed, I was getting very worked up and caught up in emotional storms where I was lashing out, plotting revenge, and so on, so embarrassing to look back at it all now. Gender reveal party. I used to think first birthday parties were dumb, but now that I have a baby that's about to turn 1, I really want to have a party just for an excuse to get together with my friends. Of course, there's the darn pandemic cramping my plans. Hating your wife, at least it's common where I live. My wife is amazing and we make each other better. Horrible guys, you know, have a rough day at the factory, come home, tuna casserole, and just start swinging. Ah, the old ball and chain. Am I right? Wink, elbow, elbow, nudge, nudge. Everyone has a miserable marriage like mine, right? No elbows on the table. Excuse the shit out of me for trying to be comfortable. My brother and sister's grandpa used to stab your elbows with a fork if they were on his table. Also, he would smack the hat off your head if you were inside with it on. I did not like that man. This is mostly so that servers can place and remove dishes. Yeah, we don't eat in restaurants all the time, but unlike a lot of polite social habits, there's a reason for this one. Watching streamers. I don't really enjoy watching other people play games for long stretches of time. I also don't really like watching sports either. I guess I just don't feel the same excitement some people do for this stuff. Same. I've only watched maybe a couple of minutes of streaming when it's a new game that I haven't gotten yet just so I can check it out before committing. But yeah, I don't really care for streaming or esports. Streamers are watched almost entirely because their fans love their personalities, I think. The games might not be very interesting, but you'll still watch because you find the streamer funny and entertaining. Taking and sharing pictures of everything. Except for when I'm traveling, I take maybe 20 pics a year. My boyfriend is like this, he very rarely takes pictures. I used to be too, but I lost someone last year and realized I didn't have one picture with them, and it broke my heart, so I promised myself that I'd take more pictures. I don't understand people that take pictures of everything, but I do try to capture moments, not to post on social media, but just so I have them if I ever lost that person. Not voicing your discomfort in certain situations. Too often I see that things could be solved if someone just spoke up, but it baffles me when they don't. I have bad social anxiety and don't like to rock the boat. It's like a physical pain even thinking about speaking up in some situations, because I don't want to make anyone feel bad, even if it makes me feel bad. Wanting to settle down by 30s. In Asian families, not being married and having kids by 30 is like blasphemy. If old Asian grandmas were in charge of the law, they would make it a punishable offense. Fortunately, the traditional views of family is dying out with the newer generations. Now people are encouraged to set themselves in life before diving headfirst into starting a family. In that same realm, having kids. I can barely take care of myself, let alone a little shit diaper human. Having a car payment. I've never actually had one. I always just buy a cheap car outright. Constantly saving a little bit for the next car is similar to a car payment, but if I miss a month it doesn't really impact me or cause me stress. It's funny, I feel the opposite way. My dad always preached that it was better to buy the cheap car outright and not have a payment. But then his cars were always broken down. So it just feels like he did have a payment, he just had no idea how much it was or when it would be due. And when it was always inconvenient. This is the right way to do it in my opinion. Let someone else take the hit on depreciation. Reality TV shows. What the hell is the appeal of a Chrisley or Jersey Shore? I think the point is to feel superior to the subjects of the show. I went to a Big Ten college, I swear everyone was having the time of their life but me. I couldn't wait to graduate. Shallow dating. Such as dates only to f*ck or apps for it, Tinder and such. I just can't handle it that well. For me, there needs to be emotional connection or nothing at all. Like I get your point, but I'm doing your kind of dating through Tinder. I chat with the most interesting matches. If we seem to connect through chat we go for walks / or for a drink at a bar. If this goes well a second date might follow, and then a third. I'm not the type of guy who has sex on date 1, 2, 3 or whatever with people I just met, I need more than that. If you have known someone for years I can somewhat get that you can take those steps faster, but with strangers? No thanks. The desire to have children. Yes. I like kids. I think they're rad. I'm in a very nice, stable long-term relationship, and am financially secure. There's nothing I can point to and say, this particularly is why I don't want children. I just don't have whatever feeling it is that makes people want to have their own. Just yesterday a woman at my work told me I would change my mind. Nope, never wanted kids and never will. Having shitty parents scared me enough to fear continuing the cycle. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.